There we go. All right, we're back. So, you see the character on the screen. The first time I made a video about Pot, it was with Adam, or Aboii, who's here currently, and then we had Andros, and now we're back with Adam. So say what's up.
Hello.
It's been, since last time we talked, this character has changed a lot, and he's actually been reworked. I know that last patch he was considered to be very strong, and now we're at the point with the character that he's kind of seen as the problem as the patch. I guess kind of universally said by a lot of people to be the best. So I'm kind of curious on your thoughts on a lot of things. I guess we could just talk about how Pot feels in your hands currently with this patch after the emergency balance patch where he got his cars.
Did you have like that conversation with Andros about 4.0, or is this from a perspective of you haven't even talked about 4.0?
Oh yeah, we talked about 4.0 a bit, but it was literally Pot just got reworked, so he thought Pot was trash in like Doom, and then like he was like, oh wait, never mind, this character's like busted.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, how the switch from 4.0 to 4.1 is pretty interesting. Specifically, Pot was changed in a lot of ways. Obviously, the return of Karas are pretty big, but also some damage nerfs across the board. Relatively, these were good. We'll talk about first the actual nerfs. So typically, Pot right now he would basically Pot Buster you, and Pot Buster against at least like I don't know about 40% of the cast, maybe 30% would two-shot you.
Yeah.
Now, with the new changes, Pot can't two-shot any characters anymore with Pot Buster, which is a good change. I think more interactions in this game are necessary. But certain characters now, because of that, will survive a little bit higher. I know Gold Lewis takes 4 Pot Busters now, obviously not including meter, but
Yeah.
situations like that where because of Pot's damage being tuned down, a lot of situations where characters may have died are now going to survive because of it. Even then, though, he was a character that always overkilled. So in situations like this, he's still going to be doing like 80% regardless of his situation. Going into it though, again, the biggest change that Pot got in this patch specifically, first we'll talk about Flick. Flick was a menace in 4.0. I can't do it right now. I was trying to do Kara Flick. Flick was a menace because of the problem that the herb box, it quite literally had no herb box that extended out with the disjoint.
Yeah.
You can put up if you want a old PNG versus new PNG now, where because of that, Pot was just able to press Flick, and because of the low recovery, trying to counter poke it was pretty ridiculous, and he would able to just work around it. Now because of the new herb box, in situations where if I were to press Flick and then go again, and you were to press Far Slash, you're gonna hit me. Yeah, which is a much needed change. It was something that shouldn't have been in the game at any point. And now this is really good. It also allows for situations again where Pot goes for like a spaced 6k flick, and the opponent can now 6p it again. Well, depending on their type of 6p, every character has different types of the 6ps. I don't believe Sin is one of them, but a character like Soul will now actually be able to hit rather than a clash scenario. Or even actually, you know what? Where's a better scenario? Probably around here. Try to 6p. Again, you may not have the right you may not have the right 6p to do it. So, but either way, the point is that in situations like this, because of the extended hurt box, characters can run up, maybe press 6p, or just in general be able to counter poke it if Pot is just spamming this in neutral, which is a good thing. It still really is a strong move. Has a lot of disjoint, has a lot of space coverage. Not a lot of reward, but if Pot charges in and you end up running into it, you're going to get a hard knockdown into what you want. Specifically, what they changed about Pot and this. So going into it, first things first, in terms of the changes, they did change. Actually, no, it was literally just that in the damage nerfs. So then the biggest other change now is the return of Karas.
Yes.
Karas are really strong in every context of this game, because the problem is the changes that they gave towards Pot was to compensate for not having Karas. So things like things like Garuda, where it has no pushback now, despite if you even FD, there's no pushback, and it allows you to now, in situations where you score the knockdown and an opponent doesn't have a DP, you're able to get in and that's point blank, which makes it so that Potemkin can keep up the pressure and get a nice close slash or Pot Buster from any type of range. Something that's really strong. Also, the return of Car Pot Buster means in situations where like round start, now Pot's going to be able to grab you round start and force interactions that he didn't have before because of armor. You know, typically when you would hit a round start situation and you would try to Pot Buster, your opponent would press maybe like 5k round start, right? 5k would typically be Pot Buster, and well, it still technically can if you jump cancel. If you're not aware or ready for it, 6-framers can now get B. Is Sin 2k a 6-framer?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want, when I reset, I'm gonna hold up. When I reset, just press 2k. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I just realized what I'm doing.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work. And
Oh,
there you go.
there we go.
In a situation like this, now obviously, that interaction would occur round start.
Yeah.
Because now he's able to armor it on the 6th frame if he's able to frame perfect. So it's able to beat those. And you know, before Car Pot Buster couldn't do that. So that's something that's really strong. Also, cars have changed slightly. So now something you know, fan favorite for pots. You know, before you used to be able to do car heat knuckle. The only way to car heat knuckle now is in a combo, which means neutral wise it's kind of dead. You can't do it because of input overlaps.
Yeah.
So you're never gonna really see car heat knuckle be utilized in pressure. But we did get the return of car heat tackle, which is really important because car heat tackle was a massive Kara that pot mains really missed out on. Because before, when you would hit confirming like these type of P-normals here, at this spacing, you see it's not a true combo. But because of Karas, you can make it a true Kara. You can make it true now. The input's kind of hard, which I'm not perfect on it yet. Which I mean, I'll work on it. But there you go, things like that. And it once it's like perfect to get down, it becomes really useful. But yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's pretty important. I think the change of cars are pretty interesting, specifically because their design philosophy with Pot was, at least with 4.0, was we want to make it so that characters are able to use, players are able to play Potemkin without requiring the cars. A lot of the time, a lot of people were dejected from playing Pot because they couldn't do the car. They do this and then they get a 6k and feel horrible about themselves. I think the changes that they did were good in terms of like how they were catering. They catered these new changes towards not having the Kara. And now the fact is that they've given players who can Kara some advantages. Now granted, Kara Garuda is a little unbalanced in terms of pressure because of that, but other than that, I think Karas have been well implemented throughout Pot because things like Pot Buster, what they changed in 4.0 was you don't need Oki, or you don't need a Kara to get this Oki now. That's close slash pressure. But now with Kara, you're able to be like a little bit more plus now, like maybe like at maximum 2 frames more.
Yeah.
Which it's not a lot, and it won't like change an outcome of a game most of the time, but it's still something nice. The only thing that most Pot players are gonna have to, no matter what, learn the Kara for is Kara Pot Buster. Like, no matter, this is still a kind of entry thing, even though you don't have to, because like you can pressure like this now. This range is ridiculous. Like the fact that I can make you block this and then almost make you block from there is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The last talking point for Karas is KBMF. KBMF has been completely reworked and restructured. KBMF, for those who don't know, used to be its own entire property and its own move. It was given, backwards Mega Fist used to be +4, it's now +1, but Kara backwards Mega Fist used to be -2, but it would move you forward and have unique properties. Now, they just said, no, it's just Kara backwards Mega Fist. So this is +1 in your face. It's both good and bad. It's definitely, people are definitely overrating it a little bit because it has weaknesses, which I'll show you now. But essentially, like in a situation where your opponent's not ready and you're like this, try to press any button. Like especially you pressure a 5-framer. Do you have a 5-framer?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, things like you lose, and it would armor there if it was actually like not getting low crushed.
Yeah.
2B gets low crushed. But yeah, KBMF has been restructured like that. It does mean though for combos, so in situations like where Pot used to do like this, one, it does like it makes them, you know, probably used to do like 5k KBMF, Hammerfall Break, Garuda Pressure because of the unique bounce. That's gone. The just frame bounces are gone as well because obviously it's just backwards Mega Fist now, so there's no like extension of combos. But that's okay. While all these changes are gone, in you know, in situations where Pot may not like want to get the KBMF hit, there is plus advantages for people who can Kara. This is always a great filler to get a lot. Oh yeah, it's for veterans who can't, who aren't like who don't want to combo with the new routing and they just want to like have some type of filler. KBMF plays that role as basically like, oh shit, I don't know the spacing where I'm at. Let me KBMF. Or in situations like for counter hit, so let me counter hit you. Try to like yeah, just do your best yeah. Like, you know, this combo is still alive, whereas now the new combo would be like something like that. But maybe you don't know, maybe you're not aware of the spacing. Maybe you're a little afraid of something, you know. But because of that, now it allows you to just, oh, okay, I don't know what my spacing is. Let's keep it nice and clean. And you're rewarded for that pretty well. You know, you get Garuda Pressure, which is what you want. The weakness though of KBMF, which is why a lot of people shouldn't be as scared of it as it thinks, is typically it has a lot of pushback. So I want you to FD in corner. If I do something like this, like, oh, well, it didn't really push you that far back. But the problem is, like, once you see it, obviously, like, stand block it. We're in this spacing now. This spacing is like, well, what's the big deal? What's the problem with this? Well, one, Pot can't threaten to catch. Here's the problem. Try to jump. Like, Pot doesn't have a single button that'll catch your jump at this spacing. So because of that, he's forced to hard commit reads. And these hard commit reads can be met with now RPS scenarios where, you know, you can press // here. If I'm pressing // here, okay, well, let me press // myself. Like, press //
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, wait, are you a 12 framer? Yeah, you see, like, oh, a trade out. Yeah. It's like, and then because of the spacing, 2K doesn't reach. So which that becomes its own problem because 2K on Pot is whiff punishable this patch, which I'm sure Andros brought up. Yeah. That's probably why he said that's probably why he said Pot was ass. By the way, which our opinions changed on this. Pot was not ass 4.0. Pot was very strong, and certain matchups. I mean, I think while Pot has become a stronger character because of Kara's, like, the 2-hitting Pot Buster actually, like, defines some matchups. So that being gone has, like, made some matchups a little bit harder.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's the general gist of the Karas and what each importance. I think the only changes that, like, you're gonna see is obviously, the input itself is kind of different. You can't hold forward now. When doing a Kara, because you may actually get Kara flick, which becomes a problem. I'm sorry, no, you have to hold forward. Because if you go back to neutral, you'll get Kara flick. Yeah. And you don't want to actually go back to neutral and then I tried the Kara Garuda there and I got Kara flick because I went back to neutral. So it does require a little bit of a little more execution from that, but it's not that big of a deal.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's everything for Karas. I have a few questions for you about just some things regarding Pot that I'm definitely curious about. I'm sure a bunch of other people will be. First thing first, a little overrated, or how we feel?
I think he's overrated in the sense of top 1. I don't think he's top 1. A lot of top level players are considering him top 1, and for good reasons. You know, Pot has a lot of positives with like his like very limited negatives right now. Like, you know, some matchups are quite literally like getting defined because of how high his health is and because of the new Kara range. Yeah. And what that allows. You know, Testament I was feeling really bad about because of the change to flick and all that, but now that they brought back Kara forward Mega Fist, you know, if I see them do like Arbiter Sign, almost full screen punish, like things like that, which you know, it's very matched. It can be very matchup defining. I think he's probably like, I've said this multiple times on public. I think he's probably around like the top 7. Yeah. And I wouldn't put him any like higher than that in terms of I wouldn't put him like 8 or 9 or 10. I think he fits very proudly within 7, maybe 6. Okay. But I don't think he's in the same scale as Johnny. I don't think he's in the same scale as like Lewis, Leo. I think those characters have problems like Pot, but they also have strengths that don't really
They're
suggest
just
as
more
much
consistent.
reward.
More consistent.
Yeah, well, no, I think Pot is an extremely consistent character now. I don't think consistency is a problem. I think it's just he takes a lot of risks. Like the changes to Hammerfall and all that, like Hammerfall Break, they are very strong because of the Kara ranges now. You know, typically when a pot like hammer falls in your face, it's not that big of a. It used to not be a big deal, but now if I do this, I want you to like press a button after, like delay your response if anything.
Yeah.
You know, like because of this and this type of spacing, where I actually want you to armor because I want you to extend your hurt box. I'll try to slow my reaction. There you go. Extend your hurt box, and there's stuff like this where it's like. That's kind of gross.
Yeah.
You know, and like I think, but there's risks that come with this. Certain characters, you know, there's problems with it. Like obviously fuzzing is always an issue where pot comes into this spacing. Certain characters with either multi-hits or strong pokes could either just run up dash, run up 2k, and you know there becomes problems where, well, what happens if I then don't commit to it and I just go for that, go for a block? Like. This change here to Hammerfall being -17 and 4.0 means that you can get dash close slash.
Yeah.
Which dash close slash means that like they're your best combo here, yeah. You can basically cash out for a 50% combo on me fucking up a Hammerfall, which I think is fine. I think there's fine that there's this risk reward, especially because Pot has a lot of health and a lot to gain with him. But I do think a lot of people don't really think, or at least they think that a lot of his risk is skewed towards him. And I think that only applies to certain matchups and situations, where I still think in situations like against Leo, against Johnny, you know, I don't know if Pot could really like compete with them in terms of like pressure and neutral. I think sometimes you could lose an interaction because you went for that RPS and you may lose the game for it.
Okay. That kind of leads to my next question. What is something that people misunderstand about Pot? So basically like, oh, Pot, when he does this, the game is over. Oh, when he, you know, he's this type of character. He does this and this is broken, or this, or oh, there's no answer to Pot. This, right? What's something that you hear a lot about? Maybe if you can't find anything for this specific version of Pot, 4.0 Pot. What's something that people just like, yo, that's not true. You got to do this. You got to, you know.
I mean, I think people think Garuda is just a checkmate situation. And granted, I think Garuda is strong, right? But there's a lot to it, especially like playing Sin. Sin is a great example, actually, because Sin is one of the few characters. There's two characters in this game that Pot can't use Garuda effectively against, and that's Sin and Leo. Specifically Sin. No matter where I space my Garuda, you can either hit me with the DP or you can backdash it. So if I do it from here, if you were to DP, so I want you to DP on Wake Up.
Oh.
You got it.
Oh,
Are we getting a repeat of
Part
this?
2? Oh, there we go.
Okay, so there was the spacing that makes you whiff. But now I want you to backdash here. Yeah, that was the spacing of that. So that one was the one that covers it. It's just, it's hard for myself to do it, but like in situations like this where I'm covering your backdash, these spacings, you're going to be able to DP me. I think Sin may actually have there may be a sweet spot with Sin. Nah, actually, I want you to just keep DPing. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best to not get hit. Because I'm not, specifically, it's like you don't want a meaty Garuda.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I suck.
Oh, you didn't get it.
I got BRC? Oh.
Damn.
I suck?
Yeah, it's spacings where you're trying to like keep it out. Yeah, you see, I still got punished there.
Yeah.
Which I was holding back. It's just situations where you can't really space it out because you either get the second hit as Sin because I was a little, like almost in the perfect spacing.
Yeah.
Or in the situations where I do space it out, like here, I want you to press backdash. Oh, that time it did. Hold on. Yeah, it's like in these. There may be a perfect sweet spot for Sin, but I know Leo is generally impossible. Yeah. And even then, this is like an on-the-fly decision that could cost you plus frames and cost you time. But this wasn't what I wanted to bring up. I think the biggest thing that people are not doing against Pot is deflect shielding. I think if you see a pot with no meter, by the way, this is a situation where pot has no meter. If they knock you down and Garuda you here, deflect shield. It's a great situation. You're setting yourself back to neutral, which is what you want to be against pot.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's not a guaranteed win condition. And even then, again, this is where the risk rewards come back, which, by the way, like, the risk should be here. Like, obviously, if I throw you, if I go for the throw and you backdash, like, that's fair, you know? I think I should be in counter hit state, but these are the risks that pots take.
Yeah.
Or sometimes sometimes I'm just gonna be in counter hit state and take that risk of potentially dying against certain characters. Now, characters who don't get good punishes are typically why pots put them lower on the matchup chart. But even then, with all these changes, pots definitely become a stronger and more consistent character because of the hard knockdown changes, safe jabbing. Oh, we lost some safe jab setups, but like manual safe jabbing is still there, which is still very strong.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's mostly it.
Okay. What about in the video with Andros, one of the things that was discussed was, and again, it was really early on, but one of the things he mentioned was Pot did Pot's neutral got smoked. His neutral is terrible. The ward off flick is very bad, but in return his offense got better. Do you still agree with that statement, or do you think now that you've had time to kind of sit with the character, you're like, no, his neutral is... I know that the counter hit on what's the face plant move?
Slide head.
Yeah.
So he said neutral got smoked, but offense got stronger.
Yeah.
I don't think neutral got smoked. I don't know if that's the correct statement. I mean, there are some weaknesses with the new slide head change, because slide head got extremely nerfed within 4.0. Before, it used to be impossible to IED react to it last patch, or at least at this spacing, it wasn't really possible. They increased the recovery once again, so now that certain characters can get an IED punish, and even then, though, a lot of characters have access to punishes that aren't IED, and because of the counter hit state returning as it did in the old patches, Puck is in a lot more trouble, and it's a lot more riskier to use slide head. Slide head does have value though. Like if you block slide head, it is a plus 10 situation. So in situations where you maybe blocked it here for some reason, you know, you could face a strike throw, or you could just face like an actual strike coming in, which is what pot wants, because they're not really going to be able to counter poke. But it is a bit of a problem. I know. What frame is your? What frame's airborne is hoof stomp?
Maybe airborne like frame like 5-ish, maybe.
If it's like airborne frame 5, which I'll confirm real quick right now. Special moves, hoof stomp. All right, it is airborne frame 6. I think it's 6. So I think you should be able to, on reaction to slide head, like hoof stomp.
Yeah, I know Zato. I know Zato can like 6H those.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Zato can do it. I mean, it's situations like that where you're landing a counter hit, you're given a lot more reward, and because of that, it's like. Pot has to play a lot more risk. Now, I wouldn't say it's cooked. He especially probably doesn't have the same opinion either now, because, you know, this does exist where you're going to be able to vacuum people in through a hammerfall break. But I think overall, like, I think Pot's neutral is probably the strongest it's ever been. I think the biggest nerf that he received was no more conversion off of a far ranged far slash, or far slash 5H white water. So that was like literally my signature thing. That's gone. This isn't a combo, and it can also whiff at some spacings. But it's stuff like that. But you know, Pot has resets that he's able to get a lot of value off of, so I think it's okay.
Okay, I have 2 more questions for you. So one of them being, when you were talking earlier about the Kara changes and everything, you mentioned that when they buffed Pot when they reworked, when they reworked Pot in 4.0, the goal was they buffed him around not having Karas, and then they gave it back to him, right? So how do you nerf him, right? What do you change? Because obviously they're not going to take the cards back away, but what part of his kit do you think is most reasonable to, like, all right, yeah, we definitely could tone this down, right? With the playstyle they want him to have going into 4.0, being more of, I guess, a grappler, you know, give him a blue wall to soul and whatnot. What's something that you think is reasonable, and how you would tone down Pot?
I mean, I think I have if you want me to be dead honest, I don't think Pot should be toned down. I think he's in a perfectly fine place. I mean, I think while yes, the Kara Garuda is a bit egregious, I think their design philosophy is what they intended it to be. I think while yes, it is. I think while there may be some conflicting statements where Kara Garuda and has no pushback now,
Mhm.
I think it's the whole point is that they want Pot to be without Kara strong, and Karas aren't generally like I would say the only quote unquote strong Kara is Kara Heat Tackle and Kara Pot Buster. And I mean, if you want to make it like this is frame 6 armor. If you want to nerf the armor, I mean, I guess maybe that's a route you could take. I think if you're gonna touch anything on Pot, I think the best nerf that you can consider is meter tension, or like nerfing his negation of meter penalty. In this game, obviously, for those who know, when you are seeing you start doing a combo, you see I'm not building any meter. The problem is with Pa is a lot of the time he'll do something like Hammerfall PRC Buster. Hammerfall PRC Buster, if you notice, I regain my meter. Why is that? Because of how long Pot Buster is, it negates the tension penalty. I think if they were going to change anything about Pot, even though I think right now Pot's in a perfect place, and I don't think they should touch him. Obviously, they probably are. I think they should touch his meter gain. I don't think tension penalties should really like be negated like that, especially in like situations where now, why am I getting almost all my meter back that I just spent because of a single air grab? Now, yes, obviously damage and all that, and it should build a lot of meter. I think Pop Buster should build this much meter, but I don't think it should negate the tension penalty that I just spent. I think maybe it should either be reduced or just cut off completely, like keep the penalty.
Okay.
But I think that's the most appropriate course of action.
Okay. And lastly, one of the things that you mentioned before in the old video was, even with White Wall Assault being, broken, Pot, like before, Pot needed it. Like, he absolutely needed White Wall Assault. It was crucial to him. It was so important to him. He may not have used it the best, but he needed it. And now that that's gone, and obviously he's a whole different character now, but now that that's gone and you have Blue, do you like the style of Pot more? Do you like it a little worse? Does it fit your playstyle more? Talk to me a bit.
I mean, this is clearly a step back, and what I mean by a step back, I mean that they saw how we utilized 3.5 White Wall Assault, and they thought, yeah, that's how we want Pot to play the game, and I think it's fine how they've structured it. I think they made Pot's Hammerfall break better, which was what was extremely important, because now he's able to move a lot cleaner without the use of White Wall Assault. And because of that, he still has the advantages now of you blocking Blue Wild Assault, or getting hit by it, because there's combos, there's 50-50 situations that you get off of it. This is what original White Wall Assault was. Original White Wall Assault was you would do this 50-50. Like, that's literally what original White Wall Assault did, and they basically brought it back. But now with actual balance, you can throw it there because they changed the hitbox on it. Once again, you can backdash it quite easily. If I press /5H Blue Auto Assault, actually you don't even need to backdash it sometimes if you're FDing. So if you like FD here, like they've nerfed the hitbox to the point that it's realistic to not even get hit by it. So because of it, Pot's forced to throw like level 3 normals, which you can react to this, in my opinion. I think you can backdash that. No, don't throw. No, okay. Okay, I will tell you right now, Pot spacing traps really easily your throws. It's backdashable though, and this is good. I think this is a good RPS point, because try to backdash here. Like me not pressing Blue Auto, so I can't catch your backdash in a lot of situations. Here's how I catch your backdash.
Oh, word.
Yeah, even then you didn't get caught there.
Oh, word.
Like Pot can't catch your backdash in certain situations, and I think that's okay. Like he could probably catch it, like if I hard commit with Hammerfall. But again, these are hard commits. We talked about what happens if you didn't do anything and I went into your face. You could fuzzy 2K 2D here, or if you see that you blocked, now you get that close slash punish, which should have ate your fuzzy. So I mean, I think overall, while I think White Wall Assault defines some matchups, Blue Wall Assault defines some matchups just as well. And I think overall, I've always said Pot is a better character with Blue or Orange Wild Assault, because obviously we've modded it in and tested it out. They made a good choice giving him Blue, because if they gave him Orange, Pot would be no doubt top 1. Orange Wild saw pot, like when Orange Wild saw first released, I labbed that, and he could get like 70% combos off of a far slash. I was like, okay, I see. It's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it's such a weird dang, it's so weird reworking a character this late. Oh, okay, I'm lying. There's one more thing I want to ask you. I mean, we kind of already went over the cars, but I just want to know, what was your reaction when you read the dev backyard and they made a separate like section just for pot? I'm very curious what your reaction was.
Oh, that? Oh, like the pots, the cars are coming back or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of laughed and I said, "Cool, pot's gonna be good." Because I was really, that's when I was really starting to like pot.
Mhm.
Oh, I was okay. I say that, but I was also nervous because I thought they were gonna just I thought they were gonna gut a lot of the changes that I liked, like I thought they were gonna gut projectile Garuda. I thought they were gonna maybe gut
implement the old pot.
yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know if they're gonna do that, but I was a little worried, and they didn't. And I think this is the better approach, even though I know a lot of people are typing in your comments right now, why did they nerf Garuda? I mean, listen, I think the goal is to let players who cannot Kara be able to play pot at a semi-competent level, which I think is fine. I don't think people should be forced to Kara, just like how there's a lot of pot players who don't want to be who didn't like charge partitioning on pot with the new pot changes. You know, I don't want to be a charge player. Well, you know, you have your balances here and there.
Yeah, okay, I hear you. Yeah, no, yeah, okay. It's a much more simple reaction than I thought. Just, oh, okay, well, we're cooking. He's gonna be good.
Yeah, we're cooking. I knew he'd be strong if they kept all his shit. I never thought he'd be top 1 like a lot of people are saying, but I definitely knew he'd be strong.
Okay. Well, yeah, no. I mean, again, I'm curious to hear everyone's thoughts. You know, there is a lot of harsh opinions on this character right now going around, so I'm very curious to hear what the people have to say. But yeah, no. Thank you, Aboii, Adam, for coming on. Yeah, no, that's gonna be it from us, and just thank you, and until the next time.
Yeah, it was fun. Everyone, make sure you check the comment section. Make sure if you see that one Milia player complaining there, make sure you give them a nice little wave to them.
Thanks everyone for watching, and until next time.